Good evening, yogis. Hi, it's me again, Michelle. And tonight I just wanted to calm down with some yin, so I hope that you will join me. In particular, I'm working on solar plexus chakra, it's the third chakra. Basically, right at your belly. It governs our sense of will, our warrior strength, but also our digestion and how we turn our foods into fuel for our bodies. Okay, and what a perfect time to do this right here, right now. So, won't you join me? I have two yoga blocks. I also have a meditation cushion and a yoga bolster, big and heavy and supportive. So, if you don't have these things, that's okay. Grab couch cushions, phone books if they make those anymore. Um, Grab anything you think you might need that might make you a little more comfortable. We get into these poses for a bit longer. Okay, so let's just take a few breaths to connect to right here, right now. Find your tall seat. Maybe close your eyes. Imagine yourself right at the pit of your belly, right in the middle of it, maybe above the belly button and below the sternum, below the rib cage. Imagine this golden little flame. As you breathe into it, imagine this flame spinning a little bit. Not getting out of control here. We're not trying for a forest fire, just a nice, gentle, golden lit fire right at your belly. My favorite things for digestion are ginger and turmeric, right? Also lemon. Surprisingly, lemon is good for digestion. And so imagine this bright yellow flame spinning, burning lightly. Anything that you don't need, and giving you more strength and confidence in the process. Take a breath in and let the breath out. Two more of those. In through the belly, feel it expand. Exhale, pull the belly in. Squeeze out the air. Good, one more of those. Nice, long, and slow. Excellent. All right. Let's get started in child's pose. Just going to take this off. Child's pose, you can support yourself. I like to support myself in child's pose, but basically you want to open your knees nice and wide, maybe as wide as the mat. Or if you prefer, you can bring them right in towards each other so that you have more compression on the belly. Your choice, whatever you feel more comfortable in. And we're going to find some breath here. I'm lining up my blocks, one under my rib cage for that compression I was talking about here, and then one under my third eye forehead. And then my nose is free to breathe comfortably. Maybe stretch the fingertips forward, lift the elbows off the mat. Feel that stretch through the shoulders. And exhale, press hands to the mat. Press your hips back closer into the heels. And then maybe settle in. Adjust your blocks, your support as you need it, or maybe you don't. And come into breath. Find stillness. And commit to this stillness. And I say it all the time, the thoughts come in, the thoughts go out. And still I remain still. Focus your breath. Inhaling fully and exhaling fully. You might find throughout the pose that the support you may or may not need anymore, in which case you can adjust, maybe add to or take away from. You're so in the way. Go on, Ozzy. And back into stillness we go. And take about 10 more slow, full breaths. Let's take another deep, slow breath in. And let the breath go. And gently come back to center. And rise up to your tabletop. And we'll move through some cow and cat. Inhale, bring the belly down, arching the spine, tail and eyes up. Exhale, pull the belly in, round the spine. Eye gaze towards the thighs. Inhale, tailbone lifts, eyes lift, belly drops. Exhale, tail drops, belly lifts, head drops. One more. Okay. Next one. I like to call it just side lying pose. So I'm using my bolster. You can use a block. If you have cork blocks, though, I'd suggest putting a blanket, or you can even roll up a blanket and lay over it. If you have a shoulder impingement, if this is not good for you, you can use a second block. But I'm going to sort of just bring my hip right up next to the block, my bolster across the length of my mat. And then I'm just going to lie right across it like so, resting my head on my arm. So I'm compressing the left side body. I'm going to bring the right arm overhead and bring the palms together. We won't be here for too terribly long. It's not totally comfortable, but that's kind of the essence of a yin practice. You don't want to get too comfortable. And then maybe again close the eyes if you prefer and come back to your breath. Focus on that. Oh, I forgot to say if this is not okay on the shoulder. Bring this arm forward in line with the shoulder and a block under your head. Still, you get the same benefits. Just no stretch in the shoulder, okay? There we go. Okay, start over. And take about 3 more breaths this side. And one more. Let the breath go. Let it move through you, yeah? Imagine it clearing away everything you don't need. So I'm starting to lift my top arm first. And I'm just going to push myself up to my elbow. So all of these poses you go into and you come out of quite slowly. Okay, and come back up to your seat. And then we'll switch sides. I'm just going to move my bolster over to the other side so that my back is not facing the camera. Once again, 20 long breaths here. Come to your depth. And each side of the body is different, so adjust as needed. If the side is not comfortable, make it somewhat comfortable, yeah? Here we go. Settle in. Settle into the stillness. Rest and digest, right? Let's take another breath. And let the breath move through you. And slowly, gently bring the top hand up. Push up to your elbow and rise up to your seat. Okay. And get the bolster out of the way. And then I'm going to take half hero's pose. Okay. My right knee I'm going to bend while I'm on my seat. If you cannot get to your seat, you can slide a towel or a blanket beneath you. Reclined deer, excuse me. Vinyasa, we call it heroes. In Yin, we call this reclined deer. So I'm going to open my belly here and open this right thigh and the hip flexors. You can have a block behind you if you want, or you can just lower down to your back or your elbows. So if your knee hurts, stop where your knee hurts and just breathe. Maybe come to that point before the knee hurts, I should say. Okay? And if you're good, and you want to lower all the way down, lower all the way down. Okay? It's a bit of a back bend. Belly opener, rib cage, heart space, hip opener, all of these good things going on. If you feel really good about this and you want a little more, you can bring the elbows overhead. Either grab the elbows or clasp the hands, but come to a space that you can breathe and adjust as needed. Your props. This left leg is either bent and the knee is out to the side, or you can stretch the left leg long. Again, my right toes point towards the top of my mat, not out towards the side. Keep the toes on the mat. Once again, come back to breath. Always coming to a space that the breath is full. If it's short, shallow, or you're sweating, you've gone too far. Back off. This is the practice where less is more. Let's take about 5 more breaths. Soften what needs to soften. Okay. After another breath here, let it go. Now, you can bring hands back by the feet. Use your elbows to push up, or you can just kick this leg out and lengthen it. If you've got a block under your back, take it out. Make your way to your back, like a shavasana here. Feel your spine on the mat, feel the leg, the blood rushing back through the knee towards the feet. And take another breath. Okay, bend your knees, bring them in. Hug them in. Gently. Maybe a couple circles with the knees. That was a back bend that we just did, so let's get into the other side. Roll the knees to the side and push yourself up very slowly. Okay, I'll turn the other way. My mat's sliding away from me. This time I'm going to bring my left knee alongside of my mat. The right knee, I just have bent out towards the side. Again, you can have it straighten if you want. And I'm going to lower back to my block. Again, you can have as much support behind your back as you want. You know, like a bolster is even going to be that much more comfortable. Why didn't I do this the first time? This is actually very nice. So maybe some pillows or your bolster behind your back, and allow the opening of this left hip, the rib cage, and the belly. And come back to your breath. Take about 15 breaths. Soften the jaw. Soften your eyelids. Soften your belly. Close your mouth, breathe in and out through the nose. Let's take about 3 more breaths. Again, here you can either push up with your elbows or just let this leg release. And stretch both legs long. You can maybe roll the ankles, flex the feet, point the toes. All right, I'm going to roll over to my side and push out. You're still on. Good. Okay. Sometimes I wonder about YouTube. All right. Next, we're going to come into half a frog. Come all the way down to my belly. I just had a change of thought. We're going to do Sphinx. Sphinx with a half frog. So belly is compressed here on the mat and yet stretched by the lift of your elbows. If you find here you are sinking into your shoulders, don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah, lengthen up through your neck. Push the elbows into the mat so you can support yourself here again by using a bolster or your yoga blocks. They should be under the rib cage with the belly on the mat. Okay, hip bones are going to be on the mat as well. All right. from here, maybe a second block for your third eye. Or maybe you stay lifted, I think I might stay lifted. I feel more of a belly compression against the bolster with my head lifted. And then from here, I'm just going to bring that knee out to the side. And I've got my right heel behind my knee. If that's not comfortable, you can do like a tree shape with the right leg. Otherwise, find that half frog shape. Lengthen through your neck. Get comfortable. Come back to breath. Come back to that little golden light, little ember burning within the belly. It's your own inner fire, your own inner power, your warrior strength. You might have an imbalance if you've got indigestion, bloating, constipation, or the opposite. And stomach pain. Also, if you tend to be a people pleaser, avoiding conflict and shying away at things, situations, and people. If you're constantly looking for approval. On the other hand, your solar plexus chakra, Manipura, could be balanced if you don't have any of these imbalances. I feel like we all get them one day or another. Take about 5 more breaths on this side. And take a breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And gently bring that right leg in, back behind you onto your mat. Readjust the upper body if you need to, and then when you're ready, bring the left leg out. Again, staying lifted through your neck. Try not to sink into those shoulder blades. Yeah. Relieving tension from one area of the body. Oftentimes, if you're just a tense person like I used to be, so still sometimes am, I want so badly to relieve tension from one area of my body that I cause tension in another. So, soften where you need to soften your shoulders. Lengthen through the shoulders. Soften through your jaw, your eyelids. And the belly melt into the mat. Hips, little back bend here, yes. The hips are also melting. And anything ever feels too intense, like I said, back off. You can stay in a full sphinx here if you wish, with both legs on your mat. That's enough out of me through this pose. Let's come back to breath. Take another breath in and another breath out. And gently release your left leg back to the mat. Lengthen your both legs out. Open the feet maybe as wide as your mat. I'm going to bring my hands to the corners of my mat and push my elbows straight. One more breath. Okay. Gently come up to a table. Come to your knees, have a seat for a moment. And we're going to do a forward bend after that with caterpillar. It's just basically a seated forward fold. Again, if your back and your legs, your hamstrings in particular, are super tight, you're not going to fold very far. I see a lot of my students use all of their props right up against their belly to fold, just enough so you can relax. Okay, we're not pulling. I'm going to use not this one. We're not pulling, okay? We're just letting gravity do the work here. All right, so I'm going to bring this right up in between my thighs and sit up tall to start. Make sure sits bones are behind me. Sort of going to fold over my meditation cushion. And with my second block, I'm going to maybe the third block. There we go. Bring forehead down. And then once again, just settle in. We're opening up the fascia, the connective tissue of the body. You feel stretch, yes. But more than the muscles, that's the netting that surrounds the muscles, the tendons, the ligaments, all of that. Take about 5 more breaths. If there's any space for you to explore more or perhaps less, then do that. Make your adjustments. And breath in. And let it go. All right. Start to pull the core muscles in. Press your hands into the mat and walk them back the length of your legs, lifting one vertebra at a time. Your abdominals should support your spine as you lift. I haven't done that in a long time. That felt really good. I hope it did for you too. And let's come down to our backs. Gonna need a little bit more room here. Next we'll be doing wind removing as well as spine twist. Okay. Starting on my back. And stretch the left leg long. And bring the right knee in towards my chest. And then I'm going to bring it out a little bit outside of the rib cage, not a whole lot, just a little bit. So I'm still compressing the ascending colon here on the right side. I'm not pulling for dear life. I'm just kind of using the weight of my arms to hold down my leg. And just gently tuck your chin just so slightly, right? And jaws relaxed. Your throat muscles, those are relaxed too. Using the right elbow sort of like a bit of a kickstand. If you feel tension in the left leg, relax it. Just relax the left leg and let it be heavy. If you need a strap to hold around the right knee, hold that. Use that. A towel maybe. If you cannot reach around the knee, you can hold behind the knee. Take about 10 more breaths. Slow down the breathing. Maybe for a count of 5 or a count of 6 on your exhale. Noticing the pause in between. Take another breath here. Let the breath go. Okay, relax on this right leg. We're going to use it to pull over towards the left side body. You can use a block here. You might want to use 2 blocks if you need to. Bring the right knee across to the left side body. So then my hips are stacked vertically. And then my shoulders, I'm just going to let them open up to the sides like a T. And then now we're feeling that compression, a little bit of twist through the abdomen. And take about 3 more breaths. Mm. Slowly, gently bring that right leg back to the center. Bring your both heels to the floor. Feel the whole spine. You might even want to bring the knees in, feet out a little bit. Take a breath here on your back. Maybe yawn. Okay, let's do the other side. Stretch the right leg long. Pick up the left knee, and then I'm going to interlace the fingers below the left knee. I'm doing it on top of my shin. A lot of people like to do it underneath. Do whatever feels best for you. It's your practice. Just letting the weight of my arms pull my leg out towards the side just a bit. Then I'm using my left elbow sort of as a kickstand so it doesn't go all the way out to the side. If you have hypermobile hips, try not to roll over to a side. Get your both hip bones, sacrum portion of the spine to stay down to the mat. Both shoulders also are on the mat. Come back to breath. This side, we're massaging the descending colon. Take about 3 more breaths. All right, from here, we're going to take that single leg spine twist, bringing my block over to the right side, sweeping the left leg across, stacking my hips vertically. And letting the arms open to a T. And once again, feeling a little more compression and twist like a wringing out of the abdomen. And let's take another breath here. Slowly make your way back to center. Untwist. Yeah. And then let's bring the both knees in. If you can't reach, take a strap or a towel. If you can reach, and you want to grab your elbows, grab your elbows. If that's too much, interlock the fingers, or maybe you can grab the wrist. Okay? We won't be here for very long, but with the both knees up, then we are massaging the transverse colon. And if still this doesn't work for you, perhaps happy baby, though it'll be less compression on the belly and the gut. Keep your head on the floor. Come back to breath, maybe 10 breaths here. Two more. Maybe it's a little hard to breathe if you've got this nice tight squeeze, but you can take two more breaths. Last one. Gently release and then move into happy baby. Open the knees. You can grab the feet. You can grab the hamstrings. But turn soles of the feet towards the ceiling. And then rock a little bit here, massaging your lower back, your kidneys, sacrum. One more breath. Release. Release everything to the mat. And I think that about wraps it up. Just take a few breaths in stillness in Shavasana. If you would like to take belly down Shavasana, it's just another way to compress the belly. In fact, I think I'm going to do that. Just going to roll right over to my belly. You can roll up the top edges of your mat. Give your forehead a little bit of a pillow. And then when I like it feels really good is to bring my fingers interlocked towards the base of my skull, the suboccipital muscles. So the thumbs rest comfortably above the ears, the belly is down, the feet are relaxed. And you've got some room to breathe in and out through the nose. Your face is not smashed here. You got a gentle stretch on the back of your neck. And come back to breath here. Take about 10 breaths here in stillness. And take another breath. Let it go. Release your hands. Perhaps push into a child's pose or just roll to your belly. Roll to your side, excuse me. I'm falling asleep over here myself. And once you're ready, gently, slowly, push yourself up to a seat and seal our practice. And come back to your easy seat. Take a moment to close your eyes. Bring your attention back to that belly. And beautiful golden light, beautiful golden fire within the belly. This is your drive. This is your ego, your personality, your confidence, your get stuff done, right? Now that we've activated the space, I want you to get your sleep done. It's like about 10 o'clock here, p.m., so I hope I sleep well. I will tune back in tomorrow for solar plexus vinyasa. It'll be quite different from tonight. So thank you all so much for sharing your practice with me. Namaste.